In this video, you're going to learn 5 conversation mistakes that make you invisible. What I'm about to show you will make you realize you've been sabotaging yourself in ways you never noticed. But once you see it, everything changes. Point 1. You're operating in invisible mode, and you don't even know it. Picture this. You walk into a room. Maybe it's a party, maybe it's a work event. And the second you cross that threshold, something happens. Your shoulders tense, your voice drops. Your facial expressions just stop. You tell yourself, I'm just naturally quiet. But here's what's actually happening. You're not quiet. You're in protection mode. Because years ago, maybe you were 12, maybe 16, you got excited about something. You laughed too loud. You showed people the real version of your energy. And someone looked at you like you were too much. They rolled their eyes. They said, calm down. And in that moment, your brain decided showing energy is dangerous, so you built a defense mechanism. You learned to dim yourself before anyone could dim you first. And now you walk into every social situation with your energy on a leash. But here's the problem. When people talk to you and feel no energy coming back, when they see your flat expression, hear your monotone voice, their brain doesn't think this person is naturally reserved. It thinks, this person doesn't want to be here. And they leave. Not because you're boring, but because you accidentally made them feel unwelcome. Here's the shift. Next time you feel that urge to pull your energy back, do the opposite. Let your voice get louder. Let your face move. Let yourself laugh without controlling the volume. It's going to feel like you're being too much. That's your old programming talking. Ignore it. Because the version of you that some people find too much, that's the version the right people have been waiting to meet, which leads into the next invisible mistake. Point 2. Your stories are designed to inform, not to captivate. Let me show you what I mean. Someone asks, how was your weekend? Most people say, oh, it was good. I went hiking on Saturday. We went to this trail I'd never been to. It was nice. Then on Sunday, I just relaxed. Yeah, it was a good weekend. Did you feel anything listening to that? No. Because it's structured like a police report. Chronological, factual, efficient. There's no tension, no mystery, no reason to care. People don't care about what happened. They care about not knowing what's going to happen next. So here's the technique. Never start at the beginning. Same story, different structure. So I almost got arrested this weekend. Now you have their attention. Then you slow down. I was on this hiking trail, middle of nowhere, and we see this guy sprinting toward us. Full speed. Screaming something we can't understand. Turns out we accidentally crossed into private property. The guy was the owner. Had his phone out, about to call the cops. Then you resolve it. We showed him the GPS, he felt so bad he gave us directions and apologized 5 times. Same events. Completely different experience. Because you're not just reporting information. You're creating a question in their mind and making them chase the answer. But even the best story structure doesn't matter if your answers kill the conversation first. Point 3. You're giving answers that force the other person to do all the heavy lifting. Here's what's happening. Someone asks, how's your week been? You say, good. Silence. Now they have to think of another question. They have to dig. And after 3 rounds of this, they're exhausted. You think you're being polite, not oversharing. But here's what you're actually communicating. I don't want to engage, even if that's not what you mean. Here's what's in your brain. You're filtering constantly. That weird thing at work might be too random. That show I started, they probably don't care. So you delete everything and land on good. But people want to care. They're asking because they're looking for a connection point. Here's the formula. Image plus emotion plus follow-up. Hook, not good. Instead, honestly kind of chaotic. I started a new project at work and immediately realized I have no idea what I'm doing, so that's been fun. Now there's an image, an emotion, and a hook they can grab onto. Because momentum isn't about being the most interesting person, it's about giving people material they can build with. And if your answers need to open doors, your questions need to do the same. Point 4. Every question you ask is putting people to sleep. You're talking to someone new, and because you want to be polite, you ask, so, what do you do? I'm an accountant. Oh, cool. How long have you been doing that? About 5 years. And now you're stuck. But here's the thing, this isn't their fault, it's yours. Because you asked a question that encouraged an autopilot answer. Questions like, what do you do, aren't bad. They're just dormant. They let people stay on the surface. So here's the shift. Ask questions that bypass autopilot. Not, what do you do for fun? Instead, what's something you used to be obsessed with as a kid that you just stopped doing? Now they have to think. Now they're accessing a memory, not, how's work going? Instead, what's the weirdest thing someone at your job has done recently? Now you're asking for a story, because real curiosity isn't about gathering information. It's about making people feel interesting. And the moment someone feels interesting around you, they want to keep talking. But even the best questions don't matter if you respond like a ghost. Point 5. You're reacting like someone who's terrified of being noticed. Someone's talking to you, telling you a story, sharing something funny, and you're listening, nodding. Quiet. You think, I'm being a good listener. But here's what's actually happening. You're disappearing. Because listening isn't passive. Real listening is visible, but your face barely moves. You smile politely, you nod slightly, and the person talking feels nothing. Not because you're rude, but because they can't tell that you care. Here's why. At some point, you reacted too strongly to something, and someone looked at you weird. Your brain decided big reactions are embarrassing, so you learned to keep your reactions small, controlled. And now, when someone tells you something funny, you smile with your mouth closed. When something's shocking, you widen your eyes slightly. But inside, you're feeling everything. You're just too afraid to show it. And that fear is making you forgettable, because people don't remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. Here's what changes everything. Let your reactions match what you're actually feeling inside. If something's funny, laugh. Not a polite chuckle, actually laugh. If something's surprising, let your face show it. Let yourself say no way or wait, seriously? Not performed. Not fake. Just unfiltered. Because fun isn't about being the most entertaining person. It's about making people feel alive when they're around you. So here's what you need to understand. You're not boring, you're not broken. You're just protecting yourself. And that protection has become a prison. But the moment you stop hiding your energy, stop killing tension, stop giving dead-end answers, stop asking autopilot questions, and stop reacting like a ghost, people stop forgetting you exist. If you want the exact framework to make this automatic, watch. Secret to getting better at talking to people. Drop a comment. What conversation skill should I break down next? Because once you understand this, you can't go back to being invisible.